Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome, by the way. Um, Today's a little different than normally, something I'm so excited about. I'm Holly Pring, by the way, and I'm here today with Jennifer Lewis. Jennifer's not just an incredible person, but someone walking this journey right alongside me in inside the Legacy Builder community and our mastermind training. We thought, why not pull back the curtain a little bit and give a peek and have a real conversation? So it's not about hype but about real struggles we all face, real wins, real doubts that we encounter at times, and why this path is changing so many lives right now. So let's jump in, and I'm going to introduce you to Jennifer right now, and then we're going to go back and forth with some questions that are of concern to so many people, and we wanted to clarify it to make it a little easier. So let me first introduce Jennifer now. So go ahead, Jennifer.
Hi there. My name is Jennifer Lewis. I live in Pennsylvania and I am a wife, a mom, and a teacher. And I have two children of my own and then two stepsons.
Oh, thank you. Uh, all right, here's my first question to you, Jennifer, is what made you decide to start an online business and how has it changed your life personally?
That is a really great question. Thanks for asking, Holly. What made me decide to start an online business really came down to 2 years ago. My husband has some health issues and we were sitting in the ER on the last day of school. I knew at that moment that if I didn't have a backup plan, that if something happened to his health, I could possibly be homeless or not be able to pay all of the bills. So I found this online program and it has changed my life drastically. In fact, I took my husband on this dream vacation last year and we're now able to start paying off our debt, which is
Oh,
huge. Yeah, right?
oh, that's
But
fabulous.
what about you, Holly? Why did you decide to start this online business and how has it changed your life?
How much time do you have?
All day.
Exactly. By the way, I felt the same way as you with struggles financially and so forth. After working so many years, I did real estate for 44 plus years. I'm
Wow.
also a mom, grandmother, and a great grandmother, and I miss so many memories with raising my children, being a work dog, working 16 to 18-hour days. I loved what I did. However, I wasn't satisfied with being able to spend quality time with my family. So I knew I had to find something because I don't want to blow it again with my second and my third generation with the great and the grand and the great grandchildren. So something that gave me back my time without sacrificing my income. That's what got me started and intrigued me. So that's why I'm doing this now because the beauty, I get to work from home. I
Hmm.
can work a couple hours a day. I generated health issues because financially, Social Security just didn't cut it for me.
Hmm.
So one of us had to go back to work, and we did for a bit, unfortunately, but I developed a health issue. I have a hard time standing long periods of time. So that's what got me so interested in doing this is home, I'm my own boss, earn my own income. So
Hmm.
basically, income is dependent upon myself versus a menial salary, especially for seniors. So that those were my startup reasons. Okay.
That's so good.
So I have my second question I'd like to ask you is um, where I have a what's one myth about making money online that you wish more people understood isn't true?
Well, there's two of them actually.
Okay.
One is that people think that in order to be successful in the online space, that they have to have a big following. And they also think they have to be savvy. But I can tell you, just even the past month, I started a backup account on TikTok, and I've actually been able to make a lot of connections with people.
Mm,
And with that account, I started it at zero. So I just learned how to create better content, how to connect with my perfect audience. And so it's working, you know? The other part of it is people think that you have to be tech savvy. And really, I mean, the system is basically 95% done for you. There is always help available. I didn't actually put together my system. I paid somebody because I didn't want to do it myself.
mhm,
And I'm not tech savvy, and I know that's a weakness of mine, so I took care of it, you know. But so many people think that they have to be tech savvy, even just to, do the videos, and you don't. You can do it really, really simple. So
mhm.
that's a couple myths I think people have and why they don't start. So what about you, Holly? What's one myth that you think about why people
I
or
could go on to many, many myths. By the way, I like my little world. I am what you call negative tech savvy. I didn't even know what digital marketing was. I had no clue what passive income was. I didn't know any of that. I had to Google it. Fortunately, I was able to have the tech knowledge to know how to work Google because,
Mhm.
but it took me a long time when I first started. But in my age, I'm in my 70s now, and I grew up in literally in the Flintstone era, with that chisel that you'd hammer out everything. I had no clue how to do anything tech wise is one of the things. And I've learned that it kind of stopped me from doing anything for way too long. But the truth and the reality is it's about systems, not skills you were born with.
Right.
And I developed the interest in making that work for me. And the beauty I love is that when I have a problem, within the community, I all I do is post a question. Example, I had a problem for one of the people that has joined with me, didn't wasn't able to find a link. And I kind of thought, I'm not sure if I can locate that. However, I just posted a question and I got so many people answering me instantly. So
Mhm.
whenever when I always feel when in doubt, just throw it out and build. Don't
Mhm.
be afraid of something like that because with all the opportunities that are
Right.
offered within, that was something that stopped me in the beginning. But I've learned never assume, learn, try something, because I've been scammed and burned in the past, but yet having the ability to do tech now that I never had, I actually am amazed with myself. So I've learned that it's a myth. When people want to do something bad enough, we'll
Right.
find the way to do it. Because, the saying that, oh, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, that's not true.
Mhm.
Because I'm learning something new every single day. And my philosophy is that we're never too old to learn. And when
Mhm.
you stop learning, life's over.
Yeah.
Knowledge is nourishing, and that's what's so important about it. So,
Oh,
my
that's good to
next
hear.
question for you, yeah, for you, Jennifer, is I have a few questions. Well, can you share a moment when you almost gave up but didn't? What kept you still going?
Well, my digital marketing journey is different from other people because I actually started almost 2 years ago. So in the 2 years from June of 23 until March of 24, I spent a lot of money on different courses. I spent a lot of money on coaching, and I was convinced that there was something better out there. I almost gave up last year because I had spent so much money on all these different courses, and none of them were getting me closer to my dreams or my visions. And then when I came across this program, the Legacy Builder program, at the end of March, beginning of April, I realized that I couldn't quit. Like I have a vision, I have a purpose, I have a reason why I started this in the first place. And if I quit and I give up, then I don't have my backup plan and I can't take care of my family. So that's kind of like what kept me going. Plus, I saw other people in the community who were having success, people ages 17 to 82. And I'm like, hey, if they can do it, so can I, so can you. So that's what kept me going. But what about you? Have you ever had a moment where you almost gave up, but you didn't? And then why did you keep on going?
Well, I've gone, when I first started, I had the resistance due to the fact I lacked tech skills. So that was overwhelming to me in the beginning. In addition to a previous company I had tried out, because as I mentioned earlier, I wanted to find a business that I could work from home and help me to take care of my family and eventually leave a legacy for all my family so they never have to struggle like I have throughout my life. But uh, the bottom line is I found that due to the fact I have a health issue, I needed to find something that I could do from home that would work, help me get out of debt, in addition to giving me the financial stability, because all my family lives in all different states, and we all know what airfare expenses are today. So I have to if I want to. And the last Christmas I had spent versus with my family was home here where I live, my husband and I, which was fine, but I miss those wonderful times with building more memories. We're here once, make the most of it. And I just love the beauty of being able to work from home, earn what I'm capable of doing. And at my age, if I could do it in my 70s, you could probably do it as a young person with your eyes closed. As long as you're coachable and you're consistent, because the mentorship is there. And I've even gone that extra step and got certified, so I'm able to mentor anybody else that is involved with this industry. And that's what made it better for me. And I'm enjoying what I do. So that made a whole different change. So that's what I found is, whereas as I said, I almost threw in the towel. What kept me going was realizing what's the alternative? Staying
Right.
stuck? That was not an option.
Mhm.
Solution, I've always believed in focus on a solution, not the problem, and
Mhm.
you'll always grow and go from there. So
Right.
that,
Yeah, I love
that
that answer.
good, right? So my next question, what's the best part about the program that you're using?
For me, it's twofold. One is I love that we get the four done for you products that we don't have to create. And we know that these are proven products because in a matter of 10 and a half months, they generated $29 million. So
Mm,
we know that people have a strong desire to have an online business and make money for themselves. And we in turn can help them get there. The second thing I like is the automation system because without the automation system, we're stuck doing network marketing or something like that where we're
mm,
calling people or chasing them down. And with the automations, I've literally had times where I've been in the plasma line or I've been at the trail or I've been on at dinner with my family and my automations are working for me and I have people who are purchasing and I don't even have to be present. So I love that fact because it's working 24/7 for me and I don't even have to think about, anything about it.
oh, amen, right?
Yeah.
You, you
What's the
kind
best part for you though?
you kind of took a lot of the words out of my mouth, which shows that it works that way for all
Right.
all of us. The beauty of having the automation, it's global,
Right.
and it's what even when you're sleeping, you're on vacation, you're just loving and enjoying your life. Because in my previous career with real estate, it was the fact that I had to constantly call people. I had to send emails. I mean, there were times I work up until 11:45 p.m. because somebody would send me an email and I have to respond because I'm not one that wants people to sit and wait for a response on something. I don't believe in that. And having automation, it does all the heavy lifting for you. And being global, we have a market of 5 billion people that are doing nothing but this all day, scrolling on their cell phone. Why not earn a living
Right.
with that time frame because of automation and the fact that the mentorship, the people, the feeling of finally having a real path I can trust, and being taught attraction marketing versus what the old school ways of, here's the phone, you're on your own, and then you're doing everything, calling everybody. And it gets to the point people see your phone number show up and they go, I'm
Mhm.
not answering that. I know why she's calling. She's calling to hound me to, because that's the difference with, like, say, network marketing, affiliate marketing. You have to have, in order to earn a living, you have to have people in a line. You have an up line and a down line, and you're kind of in the middle. So if you're not bugging people, you're not earning an income. And when you
Right.
do, you're only getting a smidge, 20, maybe 25, 30% versus 100%. So to me, it was hands down a no-brainer. That's why I chose to do what I'm doing and get the best of all worlds.
Hmm.
So that was my reasons and why I stay and continue to do, because the
Right.
training, the live interactive training that we're offered, and guess what? If you miss something, no big deal. You watch a replay at your own
Right.
convenience. Because many people that have joined are doing this now for a supplemental income. Therefore, they're working obviously in a job someplace and don't have that time. So that combination with the replays, in addition to automation and in addition to global and
Hmm.
work from anywhere, that was my real reason. It serves everything, every category we need, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And the last thing on that is meeting all the wonderful people, like I met you, Jennifer.
I
And, and
know.
the people, it's like our extended family. And
Exactly.
that's the beauty of it. So,
Yeah. And I love the fact that we were able to connect in person.
yeah, that
Hmm.
was when we went for our mastermind training, and you meet all these people that we kept seeing through our interactive trainings that all of us would be in, and then putting a real person to the face.
Hmm.
It's a blessing. That's why I say
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
extended family, and that I would never have imagined in a million years that doing something like this, you meet all these wonderful people.
Right.
I've had careers, as I mentioned, in real estate, but never had that extended relationship.
Right.
That's what I love about this. So,
Yeah, exactly.
so, so Adele, my next question is, and be my last question for now, for today. For someone watching this and feeling unsure or hesitant, what's the one piece of advice you'd give them about getting started for those?
Well, that's a really great question because we encounter that every single day when we have people who say that they're ready and they answer our call to action and they say that they want to learn more, but they don't follow through. I think that people need to realize that there's no perfect time. There's never going to be a perfect moment when they're like, okay, I'm ready. There's never going to be a day that they have all their ducks in a row. And I feel like they just need to start messy because when I started
Mm-hmm.
2 years ago, I had no idea what digital marketing was. In fact, when I purchased my first course before this program, I had no idea even what I purchased. And I had no idea what I was going to do with it. And I didn't know how I was going to attract, I didn't know how people were going to purchase it from me. I had no idea. And um, I think that it's good that when you come into this program, you're making a connection with somebody that you relate to, the know
Mm-hmm.
like trust factor, but you know that you can rely on them for questions and that. And I think that I didn't have that when I first initially started. So for me, I just I knew what I needed to do and I just started. But I think a lot of people struggle with that because
Mm-hmm.
they they're not sure. There's a lot of fear that comes in. They're like not sure if it's for them or if they can make it work or if they can make money. And it just, like I said, just comes down to just starting. Just do it, and taking that action, just doing it. But
Very,
what about you, Holly? What do
very,
you what kind of advice would you give someone?
very true. A lot of what you said, because m- more often than not, that little inner voice
Mm.
within comes up with all the fears. And to me, fear is false evidence appears real. However,
Wow.
our mindset gets disturbed and listens to that. And
Mhm.
perhaps some people have been burned. Trust me, I was scammed on a previous, what I thought was going to be a wonderful business online, and it was a scam. So people get hesitant to take that first step. However, what happens 6 months or a year from now if you don't take that step? There are people out there that work dogs
Mhm.
and high six figure earners. They lack time with their family. Uh, People that hesitant because they've been burned before. I'm a
Mhm.
perfect example of that. However, life is short and
Right.
we have to stay at the helm and build our lives going forward, look through the windshield, not the rear view mirror. That
Mhm.
is past history, which is learn from it, yes. However,
Right.
if you never take a step and try something because this one's in your ear saying, ah, it's not going to work, or your own voice is
Mhm.
telling you, I've been down the road before and it didn't work out. How do you know it won't if you never try?
Right.
And what's beautiful with the legacy program is there's four options to choose from. You
Right.
100, 300, 600, or $900 one-time investment, payment plans. In
Mhm.
addition, if you started at a lower, what's affordable in your goals and budget, you can always upscale at any
Right.
time if you want to. But that to me, not to take an opportunity and just assume could hinder you more so than um, help you. I mean,
Mhm.
by not doing something.
Right.
So that's to me that was the key factor because being burned right before doing this, I was a skeptic.
Mhm.
However, I'm grateful that my little voice told me do it versus
Right.
not to do it. And you have to have faith in yourself and your ability, and with the support of all of us. That's a blessing because we all help. We're all on the same journey to
Mhm.
build, and we're not competing against one another because people that are going to relate to Jennifer
Right.
not relate to me, and vice versa.
Right.
So, and you're not hounding people. You don't have to call your friends and your family or bug anyone. And you
Right.
work at your leisure. It's up to you. The sky can be the limit, or you have your regrets later on. So
Right.
that's the key of what I feel. That's my opinion too. And
Yeah.
the people in the community are also supportive and helpful too. There's so many people that have earned six and seven figures already.
Right.
So, you know, you can't blame the world if you
Mhm.
never try something. So, but
Exactly. No change is no change.
exactly. It's like that hamster. You keep going
Right.
in a circle, you may hate your job and complain, but if you continue doing the same thing you've always been doing, your results will be the exact same. That
Right.
that's how this world works. And that's what I love about the system because you have the opportunity to build what you want at your pace. So that would
Right.
definitely.
Exactly.
But so I want, I hope this has been of some value to everyone. And I want to thank you, Jennifer, for doing this interview, seriously, for being so open and real. This journey isn't about being perfect. There is no such thing as being perfect.
Right.
Anyone that thinks it's perfect, that's not perfect. It's contrary. It's about being brave enough to take the first step. If you think about it, as a baby, if you didn't take that first step, you'd be
Right.
crawling all your life. Seriously. And if you're watching this right now, thinking, could this really be for me? Just
Mhm.
know that's exactly how we both felt
Right.
as well. Could it? So, if you're curious about what changed our lives and what's possible, you can go visit my site at hollypringdailypay.com. if you want to reach me, and you can go to 50hustle.com and
Mhm.
take a look and see Jennifer. So no pressure, just a peek. It is free to check. And that's another one beauty. But until next time, I want to thank you, Jennifer, for being here and definitely do this again, right?
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you, Holly. I
Yep.
appreciate you.
My pleasure. Take care now.
See ya.